Bonjour, and welcome to all of you comic book geeks, readers and collectors to another issue of Review Time. COMIChat, as I call it. My top 10 this week contains 15 comics. I've got some right beauties here. I think I say this every week now. Comics are in a real good place at the moment. I've been in the hobby a long while, hence the OL in the middle of our name. And I can't remember a time when there was such a diverse spread. I can remember in the 80s, the indie explosion. Even then, I don't think we got such a varied assortment of great stuff, from the cakes and the cod pieces all the way through to, like the indie end of the spectrum, and everything in between, everything that mixes it up and mashes it up. Before I start, there'll be no spoilers. I'm not going to do a deep dive because I'm going to go through 15 comics. So the reviews will be either spoiler light or spoiler free. Mostly spoiler free. There might be the odd really light spoiler, but nothing more than you might be able to if you was just flicking through it on the shelf. But I've got to reel you in somehow, haven't I? I've got to tell you what's in the comics. Also, I've noticed there's a few people coming across from Threads. So my constant bombardment on that social media platform is finally working. Welcome. And if you're not from Threads and you're just from YouTube in general, welcome. I've noticed there's a couple of new people in the comments, and you know how much I love the comments. Welcome to the world of being a sexy subscriber. And thank you all to all of my long-termers. All of my, you are so sexy. No, I think you are so sexy. So, 15 comics, light on the spoilers. Right at the end, there won't be no deep dive, but right at the end, we've got to do cover of the week. Just imagining that we had pocket money for one comic. What would it have been? Just based on the cover, how many times? To be fair, how often, let me know in the comments, how often have you bought a comic just based on a beautiful cover? You've had a flick through and thought, oh yeah, that looks decent enough. You got it home and thought, oh my God, that cover done it. I'm not really going for that angle. I'm going for the angle of when you was a kid at the drugstore or the newsagent, going to the spinner rack or the shelves with pocket money for one comic. And it would be the covers coming at you, wouldn't it? It would be the covers enticing you. Come on, buy me. And then you'd have another publisher with more covers going, no, buy me. So anyway, that's right at the end. A little bit of fun. It's all chapterized, so you can flick around or avoid. If you don't like Marvel, then, and I can't convince you, or you don't like Image, you just stick to the big two, then you can flick around. I'd rather you listen, actually. If you're I don't think my old mate Mandy was talking about back in the day when you had to choose a side. And by the way, check the channel out. The link is in my homepage. iZombie, it is iZombie, I think the channel is called, or her handle. I don't know. That was back to CB radio days, wasn't it? I don't know what they call it nowadays. Anyway, her name's Mandy. She's got her own channel. The link is in my front page thingy, whatever you call it. And she's over on Threads as well. We always have a little bit of to and fro. So hello to you. But I do agree with what she was saying about back in the day. You had to choose a side. But I've got to admit, and I was always Marvel. Always. I just wasn't attracted to the lame-o. And looking back, I still collect. Well, I collect more DC now than I've ever done. Old and new. The new stuff is superb. They have really got their act together. If I had to choose a side, if someone, put a gun against me and said, name your favourite publisher, I've got to admit at the moment, I'd say Image. If you watch my haul videos, you can see how many. When Diamond were going through their troubles a few months ago. I know they're not over for them yet, but when it was getting a bit rocky over here in the UK, the deliveries, when we weren't getting Image comics, I'll tell you what, my pull list shrunk. And I mean enormously shrunk. Without indies, particularly Image, in my pull list, well, between Marvel and DC, I don't know. Would I? That's a good question. But the ages, really. Would I be collecting if it was just capes and cod pieces? And I know each company has their odd bits and bobs, but generally speaking, they're all about the capes and cod pieces. I think if it was just restricted, I would probably be picking up 2 or 3 because you can't, it's a lot to think about there. Anyway, you weren't here for me to ramble on. Sorry about that. Let's get on with it. Marvel up first. I've got 5 here from Marvel. This finally jumped up a notch. It's really been languishing for me. It started off well, then really went off. It has come back. She's getting on with the story because Stephanie Phillips is a decent writer and the artwork's decent, the colouring's beautiful, but it was just getting a bit dull, and it's just all the cosmic power stuff. Phoenix on her own. You've got a little bit at the beginning of this run with Scott, her communicating across the universe with him and all that. But other than that, I love the fact it's a standalone character, all about her and the power that she's got in the universe and all the cosmic shenanigans that go along with it. So I was happy. I'm happy to announce, because I think last month I was having a bit of a whinge about it, but no, it's back. Talking of cosmic shenanigans, this has been very good, and I like the central premise of it. So if you haven't read this yet and you don't want to know, close your ears just for 30 seconds while I say this phrase. It's the what if of the story I'm really enjoying. What if you could get a drop of Galactus's blood? Enough said. Love it. Love it. Great new character in it as well. Well, I haven't seen her before anyway. The woman who's, the alien, the anti-alien league or whatever it is. Yeah, so that is a hit. Great. Loving it. Loving this as well. A new artist on board. Normally I whinge, don't I, when Nick Klein ain't on it. Obviously I'm always gonna moan when Nick Klein ain't on it. Adam Gorham, I've got to say, if he was the new artist on this, he's a very, very worthy successor to Nick Klein. If Nick Klein was to say, right, I'm off to pastures new, I'd be sad and I'd follow him wherever he went. I'd follow that artist. But Gorham, I mean, obviously Nick Klein, beautiful Nick Klein cover, that's what he delivers. I've really enjoyed this run of the Hulk. It's completely different. I know they've done the horror route before, but not like this. It's kind of veering off into the not the sorcery world, but it is what would I call it? Kind of like that horror fantasy. No, I'm not doing it justice there, but I'm really, really enjoying. I'm enjoying it. And obviously Kennedy Johnson has been on it from the start on the writing duties, so that's good. It has been for Marvel. That's been solid for 28 issues. Yeah, and even when they changed artists, I did have a whinge, but nevertheless, the storytelling, the storyline rather, has been great. These have been an absolute delight. The only thing I don't understand is why they numbered every character's comic number 1. Because you've got to read them all in order, because I got these 2. And I read that one first, and it was the last issue, because they've all got number 1 on it. So maybe this is a little mini whinge of the week. Marvel, why did you just number them number 1? Just, if there wasn't going to be a number 2 of Mephisto, but it's number 8 in the Bring On The Bad Guys, just make it number 8 and just call it Bring On The Bad Guys number 8 Mephisto issue. Hello? God, that's almost Whinge and Cuckoo all in one, isn't it? Because it is Cuckoo, really, not a full Cuckoo. I'm not going to do it. Anyhow, apart from that mini Whinge, and this was also, look at the beautiful Bermejo. It must be Bermejo still, mustn't it? Beautiful cover. And inside is the guy who was on Amazing Spider. I'm sure it was him. He was on Amazing Spider-Man for a while. Javier Pina. His art style is really nice. And this story set in the 20s in England of a sorcerer. And the new Sister Sorrow character that's been introduced in this run is a really interesting new character. We need more. And I mean that on the DC side as well. In these continuing, we just need a few more characters to liven things up. And anyway, Sister Sorrow is a good new character in that. And this was the last issue, another great cover. And they really have gone, what Marvel have done well, and I think it's been mostly Guggenheim. Yeah, apart from like Pat Nader on it, and Guggenheim's done the backup in that or whatever, the second story. I know I've said it before, but that they're relishing the delightful evilness of all the Marvel villains, and that they haven't avoided having them all being bad and trying to do each other over, and how Sister Sorrow manages to kind of trick them. Yeah, it's great, and plan, and you think she's working for Mephisto at the beginning, but is she? Very nice, very nicely done. Apart from the numbering, why didn't you just number them 1 to 8? But anyway, I won't carry on. I've already mentioned it 8 times in this one video, haven't I? Up next, Image. Of course, whenever there are certain comics, this is really why I'm not going to do a deep dive, because each one of these, apart from one number one, you've seen me gush about before, so it's pointless me. If you haven't got this is 29 issues of young adult fantasy, but for all age. Young adult is wrong. All age fantasy. It's a beautiful thing from Wes Craig. This blew me away from issue 1. I've got to admit, and it was down to mainly his art style, kind of tying into what we were saying a couple of bits at the beginning. The art style, his art style, and the open panels and the lightness of the colouring suits the story so perfectly. Beautiful things. Pointless me telling you the story, just go out and get it. It's a fantasy story set on a fantasy world. A sister with the metal arm and her brother who's got burgeoning mystic abilities. I've said it's beautiful. It's beautiful. Honestly, guys. Anyone who goes out and gets that, let me know if you don't like it. I'll give you your money back. All right? Can't say fairer than that, can I? Another one that I've praised since day one. Shame when Gary Frank's not on the artwork, but again, they have found a worthy successor. Eduardo Pansica. Worthy successor to Gary Frank, because sometimes, you get an artist follow and it's jarring, like really jarring. But this wasn't. And it is post-apocalyptic story of the guy with the power to explode. Oh, you know the shtick by now, don't you? Oh, yes. A zombie story told in silhouette. Oh, it's a beautiful thing. It could be Cuckoo, but it's just restrained enough. Just restrained enough. The art style, his art style. Jeffrey Allen Love's art style just lends itself to the actual, a perfect match of story and artist. This one. And zombies. Something went on in an airbase in America in the 50s or 60s. I think it's 50s by the look of the back. Issue 1 of this, really, really nice. I thoroughly enjoyed it. the art style, and I think I said this in the haul video, the art by Danny, I would love to see this in black and white. What their art style reminds me of is David Lloyd. Not in the style of it, but where David Lloyd back in the day, who done V for Vendetta, used to work in black and white, he never used to use full lines. He would use shadow. So on my head, if there was like say, light coming from, I don't know how to explain it, but he would never use a line. He would use darkness behind me to show you the shape of my head. Does that make sense? Let me know in the comments if it doesn't. And then I don't know what I can do to explain it more apart from show you pictures. Or maybe request a deep dive on that. But basically, I don't have to tell you the story of the Invisible Man, do I? But this issue just sets up the man who's going to be invisible and the characters around him. And he's not a real nice bloke, to be fair. I like the idea that, I reckon when it all goes wrong, like, he's not a nice guy. So anyway, when it all goes wrong, you're going to be, ha ha. So that's all the image. There's more, actually, that's all the image apart from my top 4. So this is just, I don't know. I know I say it again and again and again. What am I going to say? Let's all say it together. Mark Waid makes it look easy. Yay! And combined with Dan Mora. Oh, it's just a beautiful thing. If you're going to buy capes and cod pieces, Waid and Mora, it doesn't get better than that, in my opinion. It does not get better than that. There's a traditional feel about it, but it's all new. Like Waid, how does Waid come up with new stories? It says it on the cover. Now look what's happened to Doomsday of all people. Who thought of that? Well, Waid did. That's right, isn't it? That's why he thought it. This is mining the mythology route, and it's a beautiful thing. And I know I said it in the haul video, but I'll say it here in case you don't like haul videos and you just watch the reviews. But using that mythological element of Wonder Woman has been a beautiful thing in this. It's going hardcore into it now. It didn't quite start off that way. It was just the kind of, the setup was fighting a big monster that no one else could destroy, but interwoven with her background as a youngster and explaining how she's going to do things and get out of things and how she is and who she is. With Hayden Sherman's artwork, it is a thing of beauty in writing and storytelling artwork. It really is. And it is my favourite Absolute book. I'm not getting them all because I'm not the biggest DC fan. I'm not bothered about Absolute Green Lantern. Because if you're not a fan of the main character who they're doing an Absolute version of, I don't know, to me it was pointless getting it. And I did try, I think I tried the Flash. That wasn't great. But the reason I like this is because they aren't banging on about, they aren't just going, oh look, here's another character from the normal comics and look what we've done to them. I know it's working in Batman, don't get me wrong. I'm enjoying that. But I'm enjoying this more because they're not doing it. And I think that's why, just trying to analyse why I like this so much. It's because she is her own character in it. They're not really leaning too heavily onto all of those decades of Wonder Woman. They've just kind of started again. And you can enjoy it as its own thing. So, and that's from kind of like a non-DC point of view. So if you aren't too much into DC stuff or you're not too much into capes and cod pieces, give that a go. Just take a look at Hayden Sherman's artwork in it. If you haven't watched one of my, I've done deep dives on that because it is beautiful, beautiful. This, right, so I've got 4. I'm not doing a book of the, well, I'm going to do a book of the week, but these next 3 are all runners up for book of the week. These are all beautiful comics, all in their own way. I'm not just talking about the artwork, even though we have got 4 uniquely different styles. The book of the week, in fact, is the most traditional art style out of the 4. Right? It was book of the week for all round purposes. Oh, Zach, what's his name? Xander Cannon on this is really ratcheting up. It's such a rewarding comic to read every month, because it's a chapter. It's got threads of the story moving through it, which is all about our main character falling to sleep and waking up and not remembering what he's done. That's all I'm gonna say about that. And I love the sound effects in it. What he's doing, creating the atmosphere. I'll just give you a little example. Look, I've done a deep dive on this as well, but just the electric, the noise of electricity and it's got a real and I said in a previous, in the whole video actually, that this reminds me of the 80s indie stuff. I want to row back on that comment, because it is better than that. What this is reminding me of, having read this issue and given it a bit more thought, is it reminds me of Twin Peaks in its pacing, and it's a quiet. Apart from, there is some horrible stuff going on, but in the quiet way Xander Cannon's going about his business. So if you like that kind of Twin Peaks kind of vibey thing like that, this is for you. It is a delight every month, and I'm really enjoying the monthly comic-ness about it. If there's such, I've just made that word up. I don't care. Okay, the monthly comic bookness of it. Okay, I'm loving it. Great. It's a great read. Always at the top of the pile, this one. And on the face of it, it shouldn't really be for me. I'm not really down with it, with this kind of stuff. But no, it's beauty. It is beauty. Like I say, 4 beautiful books here. I knew he'd do it. I knew he'd do it to me. Last page of this. He kicked me. He kicked me right where it hurts. Oh, Mark Millar. I knew he would do it. I said in the whole video, didn't I? I knew, because this is such a different. And I only found out at my LCS this weekend that there was a first volume of this. I don't know. I've just come to this. I didn't know that. So perhaps I should have expected it, but this is Mike Millar. Instead of doing the deconstructionist, the superhero stuff, and all the normal stuff, which I enjoy, nothing wrong with it. That's his shtick. And this is completely different. He's a superhero. He's a Superman style character, that's holier than thou kind of thing, and he's with his mum, and he's trying to do one good deed a day and things like that. And it's like, and it's been great. And they've weaved in this guy who's after one of the superheroes, because all these superheroes, they're amongst us basically, and they do their good deeds, but they don't wear a costume and say, "Look at me." They do their good deeds and go away. And some of them are hiding in society, and etc., etc., etc. Oh, and then he did it. It's been all nicey. I've been enjoying it. It's like a breath of fresh air being nicey. It's a bit like reading that Superman comic. You're not going to get. Well, now he's started getting angry lately, isn't he? And I'm not. I can see why they must need to do that, because they're running out of ideas. But he doesn't. He gets, he's like, look at him. Oh, look at him crying on the cover. He's broke up with his girlfriend in the first issue, and that affects him. He's kind of mentally, he's kind of on the spectrum somehow. Don't ask me like what thing, but I'm just trying to set you up if you haven't read this, and you're trade waiting. It's a beauty. Again, Raphael Albuquerque. You know I can't resist doing that. Hot dog, jumping frog, Albuquerque. I need to get it out, otherwise it would make my head explode if I didn't do it. Sorry, guys. I'm back in the room now. Raphael Albuquerque's artwork suits the story perfectly. The story has been such a beautiful thing, and yeah, he got me. Thank you, Mark Millar, but I enjoyed it for how you did it. Okay, I didn't read the first. I don't know if you've done the same thing in the first volume, but love you, man. You got me, and I can't tell you because it's a massive spoiler. Another beautiful thing is this, and I know I've compared it to the film with Robert Mitchum back in the day, where he was the preacher. It was black and white. I always forget the name of it. I've got the book there. Night of the Hunter. It's that kind of a boy that is born, a bit like The Omen, very Omen-esque in the setup, but set in and he's a bad one. And the art style, I'm just trying to find a page where it won't. The art style suits it beautifully. I really do like the art style on this. Lisandro Esteren, Jude Ellison S. Doyle. Oh, that's all a mouthful, isn't it? Written by Jude Ellison S. Doyle and illustrated by Lisandro Esteren. Takes up half a page. Credits. I'm only joking. They are great. Again, an absolutely beautiful mix of story and art. A perfect boom. Do a fantastic job. And what I like is they're 5 and 6 issues and out. One story and done. Love it. I know there's certain characters that they've done before that, you've got more than one volume. But I like the fact that you can just jump in, jump on, out. Love it. And like I say, that, and that. Sleep, Huck, and that. All in contention for Book of the Week. Any one of these could have been Book of the Week. But another one from Boom is my Book of the Week, and it's the last issue of this. Now, if you haven't got it, or you are trade waiting, go out and get the trade of it. Dan Panosian's story of this it's a simple story told so well, and it ended in such a beautiful manner. In a quiet, I think that's why I'm liking Huck, because I think I might have said this before, because I'm going to use the word bombacity, and I know that word hit me like a freight train the other day, didn't it? I was so proud of myself. But such a quiet story, one half set in Victorian England, the other half set in Neverland, but not Neverland. It's like absolute Peter Pan. That's all I'm going to say about that. It's all the characters you know and love, or you think you know and love. So you've got Peter Pan, you've got the Lost Boys, you've got Tinkerbell. I think Tinkerbell is still Tinkerbell. There are some characters in it that still are there. But it's almost like the sequel in a way, but they're not doing it quite that way. Love it. So go out and get that. Book of the Week. But cover of the week, I think it's in the contention. But no, I mean, it's obviously Dan Panosian, beautiful illustration. This is the same. That threat of impending doom. Look what's going on here. Look, the light shining. There's something. Once you've read the story, it suits the tone of the book perfectly. But is it a cover of the week? It's a beautiful piece of art. This suits the tone of the book perfectly as well. I mean, what a cover! Look, with if you wanted a zombie horror tale, then that's the cover for you. It just says it all. It says it all on the tin. like I said before, these two, I'll show these both together because they're Liebermeerschau, and it's a beautiful thing, isn't it? Sorry about the glare, the sun suddenly come out. Beautiful thing. Liebermeerschau artwork. Lovely. But would they be... I mean, it isn't a very, very good week, I've got to say, for covers. See, I like this cover, but would it have attracted my attention that much back in the day? No, it wouldn't. Look, but it's the FF in Silver Surfer. Yes. So it would have got me excited, perhaps. Well, no, perhaps back in the day, yeah, it would have got me excited. Sorry, yeah, it would. Perfect combo. Like I say, great story in that with the FF. Turning up. They're being done really well. Bit of a renaissance for the FF at the moment. And the film going down well. And I agree. Decent film. This, they're really a bit like with the covers to Fantastic Four, talking about that. The covers to their run, the Ryan North run, and Alex Ross playing around with the elasticity of Mr. Fantastic in different ways. Every now and again, he doesn't use it all the time, but they're really playing around with what could be done with his, every part of his body, so eyes bulging and stuff like that. I'm enjoying what they're doing with the transformative element of the Incredible Hulk. Now, again, none of these covers are action-packed, but I think for me, this Nick Klein horror, like body horror, almost like what was the film director who done the body horror stuff? David Cronenberg. God, pulled that out of the bag, didn't I? Eesh. Yeah, a bit like a Cronenbergian. I just made that myself. That's 2 new words for you sexy subscribers this week. I'm not going to do it every week. I'm not going to make that a thing. All right. Anyway, that's it for this week. That's my cover of the week. I won't bore you with keep going back and forwards through them. Let me know what you think the cover of the week should have been, or did you get a comic I didn't review that had an amazing cover on it? Let me know. Let me know if you agree or disagree with any of my choices. And I'll say once more, welcome to all of you new viewers, and I hope you have decided to be very, very sexy and do what you need to do. Just press the old subscribe button. You know what you have to do. I don't have to put a graphic up, do I? Because I don't know how to do it. But you know what to do. We all know what to do. We're all so literate now, aren't we? And anyway, I've started rambling again. It's near the end. And all I have left to say is I hope you enjoyed that. And if you're still with me, thank you. And until next time, I'm going to bid you all adios.